Okay, back from Syracuse, back in the old studio, and we got a good one for you today. Joby, the company behind the famous GorillaPod tripods, is getting serious about their audio game. I've got 4 of their latest mics that just came out, and I'll be giving you an overview and some of the key features to help you decide if they'd be a good choice for your next recording. Similar to their GorillaPods, a couple of these microphones have a strong focus on flexibility and modularity, making them very adaptable to different shooting styles. And if I've got you interested and you like these kind of tech reviews and comparisons, be sure to subscribe so you can stay in the loop because we got some other really exciting ones coming up soon. And as a benchmark, all the audio that you'll be hearing today will be compared to the internal microphone being recorded via the Rode Wireless Go 2. First up, we've got the WaveoPod. This is a plug-and-play USB-C microphone that works with computers, smartphones, and tablets. And in addition to giving you that nice, deep broadcaster sound, it's also perfect for voiceovers, talking head videos like this, streaming, and of course, podcasting. It also stands out with its switchable polar patterns, directional or omnidirectional. So right now, because we only want to pick up the audio coming directly in front of the microphone, we have it set to directional. With just a tap of the button, I can go from just a solo recording to recording both myself and someone else or any other audio source coming from behind the microphone at the same time, and switching back. Especially if you're looking for a more streamlined setup with just one mic, that's great. And you'll notice the red stop at the top. You don't want to ever be talking directly at the red stop. That means the microphone isn't going to be picking up your audio as well. So you want to make sure you have it pointed in a good direction like that. At the bottom of the microphone, we also have a 3.5mm jack, which allows us to monitor the audio with 0 latency. You can adjust your most important settings on the mic itself. The multifunction knob can be clicked and held for 2 seconds to switch between these adjustments. Blue is volume, purple is mic sensitivity, and clicking once turns it red, which mutes the microphone. Now, I personally would have preferred if we had a dedicated knob for volume, sensitivity, and a dedicated button for muting. It's just easier and quicker to have it that way, and there's less room for error by accidentally clicking or adjusting the wrong knob. If you want a more traditional podcast setup or you want to get closer to your audio source, the base is removable, and included is a 3/8 inch to 5/8 inch adapter for mounting the boom arms. And what's cool is you have 2 options for mounting the microphone, either at the bottom of the microphone itself or with the base removed, just at the bottom there. By attaching the microphone at the bottom and leaving its original arm still attached, you'll have a total of 3 mounting points available to attach various accessories. Even speaking this closely into the microphone, the removable pop filter does a good job at reducing your plosives. And again, because you have the option of recording omnidirectional and picking up another person behind it, you actually can get a second pop shield and attach it at the top. But I'm curious, how do you feel about this red color? And don't get me wrong, I really like the red, but I think if other color options were available too, whether that's blue, pink, Joby could really embrace that and offer colors that, I don't know, people feel represents them and their style a little bit more too. And before moving on to the other microphones, touching upon this last very important point, you have 2 standard mounting points on the side here that allow you to mount smaller accessories, whether those are lights, your phone, maybe even a camera monitor. And if you're going for a similar setup to right now, you can actually have a 3rd mounting point by keeping that bottom arm attached still. If you're going for an all-in-one setup, maybe streaming directly off your phone, a smaller camera, this also helps you get set up and running quickly. Next up, we've got the Wavo Lav Pro. This is probably one of the smaller lav microphones that I've recently reviewed. Its cable, when unraveled, is pretty long at 2.5 meters. This whole thing weighs about 17 grams. It retails for $79.99 and it comes with this nice soft carrying pouch. Design and feature-wise, this is probably one of the least exciting microphones we've got today because it's just a lapel. But as you'll hear in just a second, this still sounds really good. And because of its size, it's a lot more discreet compared to larger lapels like the included Joby lapels that come with the Wavo Air that we'll be talking about when we get to that. It has a 3.5mm TRS connector, meaning it's compatible with cameras and dedicated audio recorders. It's probably not going to be the best choice if you're going for a phone or tablet connector because those usually require a TRRS connection. And usually when I'm trying to record the highest quality audio, I'll use a lapel like this because it picks up my voice best and it minimizes the amount of unwanted noise in the background. Now we're moving on to the Wavo Air, and in my opinion, this is going to be the most exciting and interesting part of this review because it shares a lot of similarities, obviously, compared to the Rode Wireless Go 2, one of my favorite recording solutions, and has been for the past year. But similar to the WavoPod, it also introduces a couple of new features that help it stand out. Joby claims that this is the most flexible and complete wireless lav kit ever. The kit includes 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, 2 lav mics, the non-pro versions, 2 wind muffs for the transmitters, 1 cold shoe mount, 1 GorillaPod leg clip, 2 clip attachments, and 1 magnetic pendant. And especially because of those attachments at the back, it's very clear that Joby is taking a very different approach here compared to other Rode Wireless Go 2 competitors. because the focus here is on attachments, how you can actually attach these microphones to various other objects. And similar to other competing models, you do have the regular clip attachment, that allows me to do a very similar attachment to my shirt, like I'm doing with the Rode. Put it on the inside, and there it is. Because of its size, it does bring down my shirt a little bit more compared to the Rode Wireless Go 2, which is actually one of the main reasons I don't like to attach the Rode Wireless Go 2 and use its internal microphone like this. I typically have a lapel, but for the purposes of this video, we're just using the internal microphone. That said, Joby has a trick up its sleeve because it has a magnetic optional attachment on the back. Using its pendant, I can just attach it like this, and I can either have it attached externally or I can have it a little bit more discreet and put it in my shirt. This by no means is the smallest or most feature-packed setup, but it might be one of the easiest when it comes to mounting and attaching the transmitters to more awkward places aside from directly on your camera or your collar. I like the ability to just attach and remove this really easily. Don't have to worry about clips or other weird mounting. The ability to just simply attach that to anything magnetically. That's pretty convenient. So for this product line, I think it's targeted more towards the active user and, again, content creators that don't mind showing off the product that they're using to record their audio. That's maybe more representative of their outgoing and active lifestyles compared to, the all black Rode Wireless Go 2 and other very similar competing offers. Battery life is rated for up to 6 hours and its range is good to about 50 meters or 164 feet. The transmitters and receivers have an all plastic build and feel very light even compared to the smaller Rode Wireless Go 2, but they still feel a little bit more durable and they can probably take a fall without cracking. The receiver is a good amount smaller compared to the transmitters. Its only buttons are for power with a small pin on the side for entering pairing mode. It also has a single 3.5mm jack for output, but sadly no monitoring output here. The transmitters look nearly identical but are wider. Their levels can only be adjusted individually on the units themselves. It has its mic input on the right side and its internal microphone at the top. Its dead cats are some of the easiest to install as it just pushes on with the 2 clips, but because it doesn't have a twist or lock function like some competing models, it can also more easily be accidentally removed. For most, this shouldn't be an issue, but if you're moving around a lot with the microphone and it's brushing up against you, there's the potential for it to fall off more easily. We finally have the Wavo Pro. Its processor offers advanced controls and EQ settings when paired with your smartphone and the Joby Wavo Pro app. First, it has active noise reduction that I just turned on via my smartphone, which is connected via Bluetooth to it. So I don't even have to physically go up to the microphone, change it, or mess with any other settings. It's all remotely available on my phone. This helps minimize bumps and wind noise in real time, and paired with its solid dead cat and shock mount, this should really help reduce those sounds. Both its dead cat and shock mount are made by Rycott. With this being a battery-powered microphone, you'd usually run the risk of doing an entire recording only to realize that the microphone was dead or never turned on in the first place. And we've all been there. Within the app settings, you can set the microphone to automatically turn on and off when it detects that your camera is on or off. That way you never have to run into that problem. The microphone charges via USB-C and can last for up to 60 hours. This estimate drops to about 50 hours with active noise reduction on. That's pretty ridiculous, but should give you peace of mind knowing that this probably doesn't need to be recharged for a very long time. The microphone has 2 sets of LED indicators on the front and back, with green letting you know that everything is good. On the back of the microphone, the LEDs also act as your levels, with orange and red letting you know that it's too high. You can only see this on the back though, so if you're vlogging, you'll still need to be mindful of what's going on. When setting up the Wavo Pro with your camera, Joby recommends setting your camera's built-in gain levels to the lowest to start. From there, you'll adjust the output on the microphone to either +10 or +20 dB to target that sweet spot of -12 to -6 dB on the camera's levels. If you're still too low, that's where you'll then begin to increase the gain level on the camera. But similar to the Wavo Air, if you actively want to monitor your audio, you'll need to do it through the dedicated audio recorder, or the camera in this case. Within the app, there's the option to set a -10 dB safety left channel if you have a very inconsistent audio source that can help with unexpected clipping. What's cool though is you can also enable the safety track on the microphone itself using that back button. When selected, the indicator turns red, letting you know that the mode is enabled. And what a lot of people often don't realize is that their onboard shotgun microphones are also good for these kind of recordings too. Similar to their podcasting microphone, you can get close to this too and get some really nice recordings out of it. And I like that you can actually switch between basic mode and advanced mode for making your EQ settings. Clarity, presence, Unfortunately, again, you can't monitor your audio directly from the microphone. You'll have to do that through your dedicated recorder. But on the positive side, and I told you we'd eventually get to this, we can actually attach an external microphone or secondary audio source, and within the app itself, it automatically detects that second source. So now we're talking into the lapel, and it actually tells me the audio levels for there, and I can actually adjust those EQ settings separately too. I can add a low cut filter, I can remove the EQ. It's a lot of customization that you can do within here. The only thing you don't have, obviously, is the active noise reduction, because that's happening within the microphone itself for what it's recording. Within here though, that's where I can actually switch how it's mixing the two channels together. And additionally, you can set the 10 decibel, 20 decibel, or no decibel boost. So I think Joby has done a really great job at introducing new features that help their microphones stand out from the hundreds of other options out there. From new ways to connect or attach your microphone with the Wavo Air, or attach things to them with the Wavo Pod, to advanced EQ settings with the Pro, they've taken a very unique approach which might make them a great choice for your next recording. Let me know your thoughts about these microphones, and if you have any questions about them, let me know in the comments down below. Until the next one, I'll catch you later.